everyone. This is Haley and
Liz. Hello.
And we're just doing an impromptu video. I think the last time we kind of did a video together, we focused a lot on the work that I was making. And today, Liz has some things that she's been making, and it's a lot of really good stuff. So we thought we'd video and talk about it kind of at the same time.
I don't know how good it is, but it's
I think it's really fantastic. I'm going to try to get a good view here. Sorry to block you, Liz, but I want to get a close-up for our viewers of the whole group, and then we can kind of like hone in on certain little things.
Yes, and they're unrelated to each other, just to be clear.
Oh, but they're so related.
But they are related, yeah, but the projects are just different projects.
Yeah, so do you want to kind of explain a little bit?
This is just an ongoing...
Yeah, we've seen this.
Yeah, you've seen this, misshapen. This is looking really crazy to me, this part right here. I don't really know that it goes, but it might relate to another block I made. Because in the end, it's just like all these crazy quilt blocks that are going together. And it's going to be this amorphous quilt.
Yep.
This one is just the start of some residual from Haley's abstract class, which you can see her little abstractions over here. I went home and I did these.
Yep.
So this is sort of the first step of this, which is more of a resolved version of this. So this is watercolor, and then I did go in and add some gouache over.
Yep.
I felt like I had made a bunch of marks, but there wasn't a real cohesion, and I loved this one. This one only has watercolor, and I kept calling this the olive. So I just added olives to all of them.
Olives and blueberries.
All of them. And blueberries. Yeah, I just liked that round shape. I was responding to
well,
that.
That's repeating itself.
Yeah, exactly.
And all, well, maybe
and
not.
Almost, not this one
not
yet.
that one yet,
but you never know. You know, we have these little guys right here, and then these circles, and I'm realizing it's sort of triangles, so I may need to repeat a circle somewhere.
Right.
With something
to
maybe
kind
up
of
here.
add
I just
variation.
Need to add a circle.
Yep. Some variation in shape.
These are, if you remember way back when, Haley and I started working small this summer. So I really got stuck on this one. And this one, I always feel like I'm not really sure which way it wants to orient. It doesn't really, it's abstract, so it doesn't need to be oriented anyway. But then I kind of pulled it back out and started working on this one, and then I finished this one in like so fast, like that I just did yesterday.
Yep.
And I actually started on this one, which a long time ago, Haley, do you remember when you posted about what to do with your scraps, like your little ends?
The little
and
ends.
It was so funny. I was kind of, I think because I have this going, and it's like an abstract.
Yep. It's like a log cabin.
Yeah, I thought I'd do this, and so log cabins always start in the middle, but I started from the bottom to just kind of work my way.
Well, I have to say I love all three states of just beginning, kind of in the middle, and then completed. I just think they're just they're so whimsical, and they're so fun, and the texture of that one that's like in the middle there, or
I do love this, and this I tried to almost like recreate like punch needle or rug hooking, but just with stitching. And these are just scraps from my literally like they were going to be thrown away.
Well, I think it's very successful, and I always think the more, and like I think they'll probably all be successful, all six, but like one of the practices I do is making a bunch of things, and if I get a few that are okay, that's a success.
Yes,
but I think so far you have three really good pieces here. If the next three don't work out, then it doesn't really matter.
So
let's talk about the painting collages right below.
So this is, again, this started as watercolor, and it was like this, just a different palette. I'm kind of trying to get myself to try some different palettes, but then strangely by the time I was done, I realized I revert back. And when I look at these, I'm like, I go back to my tried and true, but you can't fight who you are.
I think it's a really interesting palette.
So I kind of used what I had. I had these little, I kind of replicated, I painted these dots. This was wrapping paper from some Japanese cookies that my friend sends me, and I needed a dark, so I just used that. And then this was actually on tissue paper, something different. But because it's similar, I added the dots.
It's funny because the dots, you think they'd stick out to me the most, but It's almost like I didn't even see the polka
Yeah,
dots
I
because
didn't want it
there's
to
so
look
much
polka
going
dotted.
on.
I really did not want it to look like,
it
oh, that's
doesn't.
polka dotted.
It definitely doesn't.
This one I feel like it looks very sort of Union Jacky and a lion.
Yeah, it's
with a crown. There's something regal about this
some
one.
sort of figure.
Yeah.
It's also very graphic, like a
yes.
some sort of like cave painting-esque or something.
Yes, that's funny.
I'm really responding if you want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
To this one.
Yeah.
Specifically. It has like a certain kind of space in there, like you can go into it.
Yes,
that
it
I really,
does have
really
a lot
like.
of depth in that one.
I really like that. I like that you can kind of you can feel the traveling through, and it's because of this pink and this pink. You can go right behind that red thing. So I like that a lot. I'm really responding to this one as well, not for the same reason though, just because I really like the marks that you made in the drawing.
Yeah, I kind of like the composition of this one somehow.
Yeah, I like that.
There's something happening, like there's a story there.
But it's this one and this one relate very much. I like that a lot too. I mean, I like them at all, really. This one has the kind of depth this one does. And I mean, this one does too. This one probably has the least just because it seems more graphic.
Yeah, it's very flat.
But it's a different thing. It's a different
this is
story.
My least favorite one.
This
one I'd probably go in and do more too, really. But I just kind of like...
I actually really think it's very interesting how you're kind of this here is kind of like a dark that is unexpected. I have to say too, now that they're done, it'd be great to separate them.
I know, I'm
curious.
I want to cut them out.
Yeah, so you can see them. Because it's a lot to behold.
Yeah, it's a lot of bunch. Oh my gosh, I know, it is funny. I was like, I need to like trim these down. And then this one is just like, again, like in the works. That one is just an offshoot.
Different palette too.
Yeah, it was a different. I think this one was from your class. Maybe even
that looks familiar.
I can't remember. Yeah, that might have been one of the ones from your class. So,
but very. My goodness, you've been busy.
I just kind of like pulled it all out and started at it again. We've been talking a little bit about being stuck and kind of coming out of the summer stupor, and I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So,
very, very cool. Is there any, should we talk a little bit about, like, the class we did, too?
Yes, I'd love to talk about that, because Haley did an abstraction class, which I have never, I've always worked abstractly, but I've never taken an official class on abstraction.
Right.
So it was really interesting to me. It has me thinking a lot more about composition in what I'm doing when I'm doing abstract things, because normally I just kind of think, oh, I'm making a background, or I'm going to cut this up, or I'm going to, do something else. But I don't know. It really has me thinking about, well, I've been more aware of value anyway, just working with you. You have me a lot more like thinking about value. I know you. Yeah. And I have been in that I always, because I quilt, I will always take, like a black and white photo of something to kind of check the value and see how your eye moves around. But I'm thinking of it in a different way now. I'm thinking of it like part of a story maybe than just an overall pleasing distribution and composition,
or like a balance,
or
thing.
Like looking at it in a different way. I always thought of it as a way my eye was going to move around, and it still is, but I want it to kind of talk now.
Yeah. Well, I was curious kind of if there was a connection, because you mentioned, especially in these little ones, you're trying to add black or like a dark
I'm
to
going
every
to try
single
and have
one.
black in every single one of
And
these.
how stunning is that as an effect? And it's definitely telling the story. The contrast between the white and the black, or the bright yellow and the black, is definitely...
I know, I'm really into the fluorescence, which has been a thing for a while.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, for sure.
And it's not going away. And then really, I was always kind of... I would lean towards using a charcoal or a navy instead of a black, usually, because black is so harsh. But I'm really liking that jarring harshness now.
Yeah, you're really... It's like you're really challenging yourself in that way.
Yeah.
But it's coming up with some really, really interesting effects. And
I really like it.
Yeah.
So,
Fabulous. So what's next then? Work on the Little
gonna
bit of everything?
Work on this. I want to work on this one tonight, I think.
Okay.
I'd like to finish that tonight. And I may make like maybe more than one of those because I'd like to almost make like a diagonal to see how that looks. And then definitely more of these. I'm loving these.
Yeah.
And
really
then-
cool. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you mentioned a marker that you used.
Oh, the Posca markers, the paint
Okay,
markers.
paint markers. So you told me you did watercolor.
I did watercolor, then I did collage with tissue, which that was another revelation from Haley's class. I haven't used tissue in a way that I feel like it really brings luminosity and almost, I don't know, it can darken, it can brighten, it can add depth. I'm really enjoying that. Then I let that dry, and then I use the Posca markers on
And that's
top.
what
So
was
it's
making
gouache.
these
Actually, this is
drawings.
gouache. This is gouache.
Okay.
This was watercolor.
Okay.
And I think this started as watercolor as well.
Yeah, I think that was
Yeah.
from the class.
And then this was,
And then
and so there's some, I like how the Posca is so, not, it's like acrylic paint.
Yeah, it's
you
so
know,
opaque.
There's no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
totally opaque. There's,
Yeah.
and then there's just this
But you can
almost like
still
translucency
see
behind. Yeah,
the
you
mark.
can see the mark.
Oh, I'm getting too close. And
Yeah, you can see the
yeah,
mark.
you can see the
your
mark,
hand
which is
in it.
interesting.
Yeah.
But it is like paint, yeah, for sure.
So.
Very cool. I've never used Posca marker.
Oh, you'll
keep
have to
that.
play with them. You can use
Yeah.
mine. I found some new ones the other day. I only had like maybe 5 or 6 before, and then I found some in a new palette that's like an earth palette. I got an earth palette and then like a flesh tone kind of or no, warm and earth. That's
Yeah.
what I got. Yeah. And I
Cool.
just happened upon them and
Huh.
yeah.
How about it?
Yeah, it's hard to tell when you see them online. Like I'm like,
Oh,
what,
sure.
you know.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
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 But anyway,
Yeah. Well, so more, just more.
yeah, more of
I
the
love
more of the
it.
same. They're all rumpled because they just came out of hoops.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they've
they've
stuffed
been
in
in
bags. But yeah, this is looking a little nutso to me here. But I think as long as I
think
respond in other
right.
blocks,
I think
it'll
it just
be
needs to
fine.
get bigger. I
Yeah.
think that's just the thing. It's ready to grow.
I'm kind of like more is more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might even add the other block. What I'll do then is quilt this
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm quilting each one with a circular pattern.
Yeah.
And then they'll all go together. I don't know how in the world. Don't even ask me. I'm going to manage that. But they're all crazy shapes.
Yeah.
And I've left like a little bit of a border all around the edge. This one is like,
Right.
so
Yep.
that I can,
Yep.
yeah, sew them
Very
together.
cool. Well, it's all looking wonderful. I'm glad you're able to work again
I know.
after crazy summer.
Yeah, there's something about the summer. It just doesn't,
Yeah.
I don't know. What
Baby's.
about, like Haley's getting ready for a show. I'm like, what about?
Oh my God! There's
I know.
nothing. My you can't see it, but the
Empty
front
in
part of my
here.
studio is empty, and that's a
Yes.
big piece of art on the table there. I'm not sure. I think I'm ready to start stitching
Should we
it.
hang that up? Or you're
We've
gonna
looked
stitch
at it. Yes,
Okay,
we've
maybe
looked at
after
it
you
in its
stitch it, we'll have to,
state.
like,
so
look at it.
we'll look at. I
Yeah.
think so. We'll see.
You're so funny.
We'll
It's like a
see.
giant one of these.
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. But
Yeah.
anyway,
So anyway, yeah,
tuning
thanks for,
in, guys.
I know you
This
share
is-
with us what you guys are working on.
Yeah.
Because maybe you're coming out of your summer lethargy.
Yeah.
As well. I'm like, I feel like I was just like sedated. All right.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.